Okay, let's suppose we ask the spectator to say stop, and they pick this card over here. Now notice your card, before I even lost it, is right there in the middle. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do after I completely lost the card, you just give it a couple cuts. Okay, so hopefully it's not at the bottom and it's not on top. Now what I'm gonna do now actually is just a chaos shuffle. I'm gonna mix cards face up and face down, making a complete mess. Okay, so from this side over here you can see all cards are face up, and from the other side all cards are face down. Okay, and very slowly, not doing any funny moves, you can see in the middle, facing the opposite direction, the bottom, and the top. By snapping a finger, it vanished. It actually, the entire deck go one way, making the card disappear. But if I flip the deck over, now you can see there is only one card facing down, and actually that card happens to be the selection. Okay, so let me go straight to the setup. Let's suppose the spectator, they pick the ace of diamonds. Then the ace of diamonds, you should control it. Third from the bottom, face up and in different card, and the last card in different card face down. Then I'm gonna teach you 3 different ways you can accomplish this setup. I'm gonna start obviously explaining the way I did it in the performance. What I did is controlling the selection all the way at the bottom, which I use this method. To find this method with a little bit more of a explanation, just go to this video footnote, and I'm gonna start posting the links in the same sequence. Now, once you already have the selection all the way at the bottom, I buckle in the front. You see I just buckle a little bit, but in the back, without even looking, you can feel you're actually taking the 2 bottom cards. Okay. Then what I did, I flip over this way the 2 cards at the bottom, which at this point I have the ace of diamonds. And to do this spinning without the audience even looking, this is gonna be the second link. I'm gonna put in the video footnote as well, because I already have a tutorial, a great detailed tutorial to flip over any quantity. And then I did a double undercut, taking the top card all the way at the bottom. Notice I have the thumb break. I'm exaggerating, so the top card is already all the way at the bottom, and I already accomplished the setup using this method. Now this is a nice subtle method, but I'm going to explain another way you can also accomplish this, which is a little bit more obvious. This second method is by controlling the selection third position from the top. I spread for any excuse you want to use, then I flip over the top card saying this is not your card, and then I take the top 3 cards and flip it over, and showing the bottom card is not your, this is not your card neither. So I already put these top 3 cards at the bottom, and as you can see, the ace of diamonds is once again third from the bottom. And the third way is also by controlling the selection third from the top. Flip over the top card, showing this is not the selection, and flipping over, pull it out. You can see over here, and obviously you're supposed to be more careful about it. Take it out and put it back by showing the card at the bottom. And I just take, in this case, the top 4 cards by doing a double undercut from the top to the bottom. By doing so, the selection, the ace of diamonds, Now I see it on that tab from the bottom. I'm gonna do it once again at regular speed so you can see how it looks. The selection tab from the bottom, from the top. Then you can show the deck. You can do a pinky break on the top 3 cards. This is not a selection, and this is also not a selection. Flip it over, and that's the setup. And the other one, one last time. Pinky break on the top 3. This is not a selection, be careful, they have to be completely square. Now the bottom. Then take the top 4 cards. By doing a double undercut, I already moved the top 4 cards to the bottom. Once you already have this set up, anyway, what I did is also a buckle on that 2 cards from the bottom, because I need to get a pinky break on the 2 bottom cards. So I can cut, try to be careful with this cut, so I can take about the half, and these 2 bottom cards, which I already have the thumb break, be careful not to be straight. Always when you have a thumb break, it's also much better to be a little bit in angle, so they don't see too much this discrepancy over here. And I'm gonna drop this thumb break right over this top half. What I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna spin, but by doing this spin, probably this is gonna look a little bit more obvious because this is face down and this is also face down. So what I did, I spin it, or I swing it a little bit more under cover. But as you can see, just watch the performance, you see the way I swing it. Anyway, both hands are spinning 180 degrees, but with an excessive swing, don't immediately expose it, and you can show it. So this is the selection, okay, right here. Notice by doing this shuffle, notice the selection remain outside after the shuffle, and the one was right above also must remain outside the shuffle. The selection and the one in the different one, it was right next to it. They both have to be outside. When you finish, putting these cards together, you start showing the opposite half from the selection. This is the selection, you start showing the opposite one, the half. They all face up. The only issue is you have face up over here and face up over here. Well, only this card at the bottom, the other ones are face down. So therefore you cannot start showing the card at the bottom like that, because you can expose the card, the first one. So when you start doing this riffle, just start from the half to the top, and when you spin, make sure you have a tight grip. You tighten it up really well and show this other half, okay? But what I'm trying to do is do a little bit more of a swinging, from here to here, so they don't really follow too much the pattern of which ones are face up, which ones are face down. And after showing the cards face up, I'm showing now the cards face down. Then at this point, this is the setup. I have the selection all the way at the bottom, and then the one was next to the selection. And I put them carefully inside. Then what I need to do is just get rid of this card. I'm gonna show you the way I did it in the performance once again in that same sequence, and then another practical way you can do it in case you have more people surrounding. Now this is another color change. I already have a tutorial for this one too as well, which I'm not gonna get into a lot of details. Now this is what I did all the way around, you see. Now this is a really practical, nice looking change or vanish. but depending how many people you have surrounding. Anyway, this is the way I did it in a performance. Please go to this video footnote to learn this move if you want. Now I have the selection over here, then I can spread, showing there is no mixed up cards face up and face down anymore. Then I get a pinky break somewhere in the middle, so I can do the half pass or turnover pass. Okay, so I move the selection at the middle of the deck. It was normal, it wasn't any turnover card when the deck was face down, but now that is face up, the selection appear, in the middle. And that's the ace of diamonds. Now let me go back to steps and let me see if I can find well, it doesn't matter, the different card can be any card. Okay, this is the selection and the indifferent card. Now the way you can do this, a little bit more practical, but maybe not as nice looking. You can show cards and they're all mixed up, apparently, but the audience don't know that. The excuse I'm doing that is because I'm gonna flip over this top half. So it looks a little bit more subtle. The reason I flip it over is because in this case the two of hearts. I'm gonna put it at the right direction of the other half, and then flip it, spin it over in the whole deck, and this is the final situation. Then I'm gonna keep showing there is face up cards, face down cards, and back to back. I'm gonna spin this top half once again. You can be a little bit more subtle, so I can put that selection facing the opposite way. Let me do it at regular speed. Need different card, and that selection all the way at the bottom. Okay, so you can show there is all mixed up. Okay, we go back to normal and spin it over. You can see there is face up cards, face down cards, even cards that are back to back. And by snapping the fingers, you can see there is only one card, which is the selection, the opposite way. Now that's it. That's pretty much it for the whole setup you need to accomplish, which is keeping the selection third from the bottom.